Your uncle is not going to just wake up from their bed, or your parents, and pay that huge sum of money. They believe that, and pay that huge sum of money just for no reason. I mean, like when I say for no reason, they're expecting something from you in return. That's just the fact. Yes, you might say it is their responsibility, they have to do it, but is that even enough? So have something to tie as to why they are paying that huge sum of money for you. So if your parents are into business, hello guys, have you gotten a partial scholarship and now you've gotten a bank statement from your aunt, from your uncle, or from whosoever, which to me, by definition, I considered as a third party. So in this video, I am going to give you tips to increase your chances of getting that visa, okay, when you have a third party helping you to fund your education in the US, okay? So let's get into it. Okay guys, so now you have gotten a partial scholarship and you've gotten a bank statement from your aunt, from your uncle, from your sister or nephew, whosoever the person is, and you are going now to the visa interview to present your case about funding. You've said that you have a partial scholarship, and the next one is that your uncle or aunt is paying the rest of the money. The first thing you should have in your mind, your bank statement is never enough. Your uncle, your aunt, or whosoever the person is, or third party, has given you that bank statement, but it's not enough. This is one thing most people don't do. And I tell you what, if you do this, you increase your chances of getting that visa approval. Always have a support letter. I see most of us just take a bank statement, just a bank statement. A bank statement does not explain any relationship between you and the person helping you. Maybe it's just by surname, or because you have said it to the consular that he is your uncle or she's your aunt or your brother, whatsoever. Apart from that, nothing else explains your relationship or what ties you together. So this is where the support letter comes in. Let the individual who is helping you write something, or you write it yourself and give them, so that they will sign against that document. They will sign on that document that I am supporting you with this amount, and let them state the exact amount that is in your bank statement they are ready to fund you with, they are ready to help you with. And not just that, they should tie it to something that, let's say if it's your uncle, okay, and we'll come to maybe the next point. Let's say if your uncle is not going to just wake up from their bed, or even your parents, and pay that huge sum of money. They believe that, and pay that huge sum of money just for no reason. I mean, like when I say for no reason, they're expecting something from you in return. That's just the fact. Yes, you might say it is their responsibility, they have to do it, but is that even enough? So have something to tie as to why they are paying that huge sum of money for you. So if your parents are into business, tie whatever you are going to do to that business or any other thing. Okay, they might be into real estate, let's say, and I am in the business. I'm going to do, let's say, business administration. You may want to tie that to that. So maybe you will come back and control those estates. But let's say now it's totally different. Okay, so maybe because they are into business, they want to try something else. Let's say I'm an engineer. Maybe my parents are into, let's say, coding, okay, or clothing, whatever. But now they want to try something. They want to open a construction company. And as a civil engineer, they deem it necessary that getting the skills from United States and going back to my country will help me being able to have the necessary skills to run the company. So that's the plan they have now, which is why they are paying this sum of money for me. So you see, so it is not only tied down to the fact that they are your parents and it is their responsibility, but now you've tied it to something as to why they are going to pay for you that huge sum of money. Because the fact is that they have never paid for you short an amount of money. Okay, especially like those of us from developing countries, it's difficult. So if they are providing a bank statement of short, they have to explain. So this is the situation wherein you have to craft something, write that, okay, write it as if they are the ones that are writing that particular letter, that I am supporting this blah 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 with this amount of money, and we hope that, or we believe that you will get the expertise necessary to come back and take over this company, or to come back so that we can open this branch which we want you to manage, or something of short. Okay, so when you present the bank statement, you have something to back it up. You present that support letter, and here is the support letter to the VO. So the VO will see not just the relationship that you have, and why are they spending that money. You've already explained that in that letter. And not just that, it has also increases your chances of you being able to answer the question of about your home ties. Because if they are stating it in the letter that we believe you get this expertise and come back to the country, because of course, there are three things always they do say. You need to have enough money. They need to see that you are going back to your country and that you have the knowledge to come here and do master's degree. Okay, which are the basic criteria they say they look at, even though that's not all. Okay, so as I was saying, tie whatever thing you are going to do here to the person who is going to pay that bulk money, that huge sum of money for you. Okay, your parents might be paying for you, but let's say if you have one of your uncles who is into, let's say, real estate. I don't know why I like real estate, or into construction, and I'm coming as an engineer, a civil engineer, even though my parents are the ones paying, but I will relate that so that my parents will write on that letter that you will come back and work with your uncle. So something of short. Okay, so now you will be able to create a story that's how close you and that of your uncle. And maybe you go to the extent of telling your uncle to even support you. So even if they don't want to do that, but because you want to tie that home ties to them, they will support you with whatever minimum amount. So you even tell them, even though my parents are paying the huge sum of money, my uncle, whom I'm going to work with, has also helped me with this for my living expenses, or it's going to pay for my flight, or something of short. Okay, but of course, if you are telling about flight or whatsoever, you need to provide a bank statement for that uncle as well. And maybe that uncle as well, he needs to write something. So the whole thing is that your bank statement is not enough. Make sure you have them write you a support letter where they explain the relationship and that they are expecting you to go back and do something in return. Okay, so that's it. Now, you don't just want to appear in that visa interview and start explaining about your family history or whatsoever. Be sure to answer the particular question you are asked. Okay, it may sound so desperate that you are answering questions they don't even ask you. Just imagine yourself, you asking someone, you go into an interview, you ask someone, and the things you don't ask them, they will just be babbling, or they will just be saying it. You feel like, even yourself, you feel irritated. Okay, and that's the same way. So put yourself in that shoes of the VO. Okay, now you need to have facts. When you have a third party, you need to know how much they are making per year, per month, or whatsoever. What type of business are they into, or what type of sector do they work, where, and how are they making that sum? You need to know that. Okay, as I have emphasized, you need to have a reason as to why they are paying that sum of money for you. What benefit are they going to get back in return? Okay, they might be your parent, but they are hoping for something to come back and do something. Okay, because it's an investment. Education is an investment. So they are investing in you in return, hoping that you will come back and do something for them. Okay, so you may want to just take in a summary. Okay, first I told you, of course, you need to have a bank statement, but bank statement is not enough. Make sure you have a support letter and you can draft it yourself. Okay, you can go on the internet if you don't know how to write a support letter, if someone else is helping you. Okay, and make sure they include your relationship, the amount of money exactly as it is in your bank statement, and what do they expect from you. They should emphasize on you going back to your country and do something. Okay, and know all the figures regarding that support letter, or how much are they making, where do they work. But don't just go there and start saying these things until you ask. And just like I told you in my first video that I made about the general tips of you getting your visa, is that it all depends on the situation. The visa officers are different. Some will ask you questions, and just after maybe your first 2 or 3 words, they will cut you off and ask you another question. When you meet those ones, there's nothing you can do much than just follow exactly what they are saying. But some, they will ask you question and they'll be typing. They'll give you time to talk. But make sure you just put the most important thing first and have something always at the back of your mind. Okay? At the back of your mind, and always say things. Okay? So it will keep the conversation going, because you don't want to be there standing as if you are just a toy. Okay? So remember, when someone is paying for you, they have other responsibilities. So you need to know those facts. You've had stories, especially like if you are bringing in your uncle or aunt, they will ask you, are they aspirant? Do they have children? They will ask you short questions or something. It all depends. So make sure you know the fact. Yes, they have, but how much are they making? So if they are taking this amount of money just for you, and at the end of the day you are coming back, you are going to make back money, because it's like a lineage. For us in our family, uncles and aunts help, you know the difference. So once they are gone, we will step into their shoes and be able to help again their own children. So something like that. So find a way to be able to connect things. It's really, really helpful, and it's going to help you a lot. So know your source, the source of funding, where your parent or your aunt or whosoever the third party is coming from, and know those figures and state them. Don't approximate. Have a support letter. The bank statement is not enough. Don't just take a bank statement just like that. It does not explain anything aside from the fact that you are going to say that they are your parents or whatsoever. But apart from that, nothing else explains anything. So make sure you have a support letter, and of course, know that you are going back to your country, and that support letter, they should include that. Okay, guys? So if you've learned anything from this video, all you have to do is just to give this video a like, share it to someone else who is preparing now for either next visa interview or after this year's interview. And I'm going to make more and more videos on this. The next one is going to be how to respond to questions about finances when you have a student loan. Okay, look out for that. And I have made the first video about the general tips on how to increase your visa success. See you guys in my next video. Tata.